Apple in the Middle, Chapter 8. Still a bit shaken, I walk back inside and down the short hallway to the bedrooms and glance at the wall. My heartbeat is settling into a slower pace after the backyard encounter. Why did that Carl guy totally freak out on me? And what's he got against having money? Steadying my breathing, I look back up at the wall, and instantly my heartbeat calms down even more. Now, why didn't I notice that before? There must be over 100 pictures covering the corridor paneling. Some pictures are black and white with edges curling, but I notice only one face I've seen only in my dreams, my mother. I've been so busy my first day here that I haven't had time to look for her. My eyes travel from frame to frame, searching out my mother. I can see her at her high school graduation. She is more than beautiful. The first thing I see are her midnight eyes, set wide with cheekbones jutting out from her slim face. Those eyes sing through the picture, and I can almost hear them. Her long, wavy hair fights to stay controlled under her graduation cap as she holds onto it with one hand. Her other hand is linked with a shorter girl with a shock of red curls, almost like this other girl's hair was ablaze. What expression does my mom have on her face? In this photo, both girls are smiling and laughing at the camera, as if they know the joke and the rest of us are still waiting for the punchline. The story of my life. I see a faded photo of her as a child hung up towards the ceiling. She is wearing a white dress with a veil and is standing next to an altar. This must have been her first communion. Either that or she was a child bride. Even at the age of 7 or 8 years old, she has the same expression that was in the high school portrait. It's not quite smiling eyes, but not laughter either. It's not quite smiling eyes, but not laughter either. When I look closer at it, I can see a faint dash of a dimple on her left cheek. Would I have been able to make her that happy, had she lived? This is the most time I've ever spent with my mother, and she's doing a lot of the talking. As I continue looking for pictures of her, I come across some of Grandma and Grandpa when they were younger. I see a lot of Grandpa playing sports, basketball in particular. And there must be 3 or 4 pictures of Grandma raising her hand to hide herself as someone tries to capture her on film. The more I rest my eyes on this hallway collage, I see the stark difference between my professional family portraits back home, where we're all sitting, posed, and practiced, and ready for the camera. But all of these photos on the wall hold different images. Here, the photographer is a family member capturing laughter. I don't have that in any pictures at home. There, back in Minnesota with Dad, Judy, and Bear, we're practicing for life. Here, in these simple pictures, everyone is living life, not just stopping and posing for the camera. I can feel an arm surround me as I'm moving down the wall, my eyes still searching. My girl, you're still up, my grandmother asks. I am. I got caught here looking at your family. Ah, bien, well, they're your family too, Apple, she whispers. I guess you're right, but I just wish I knew my mom. She looks so beautiful and content. Come on, let's get you to bed. It's been a long day for you, and we've got a lot to do tomorrow, Grandma says. We walk together with her arm around me down to my bedroom. I stop when I see a picture of a couple on their wedding day. I recognize Grandpa, and I must say my grandmother as a young bride was a stunner back in the day. Wow, Grandma, you sure are beautiful in your wedding picture. And she winks at me. She says, you know what they say, pictures never lie. I lie in bed that night thinking about the day, especially the conversation with Grandpa about who is related to whom. I'm so used to straight and simple answers. This is what I know. Direct line of who belongs where. Judy is my stepmom and Bear is my stepbrother. Yet it's sort of nice not to have to put step in front of everyone's name here. I lie in bed that night thinking about the day, especially the conversation with Grandpa about who is related to whom. I'm so used to straight lines and simple answers. This is what I know. Direct line of who belongs where. Judy is my stepmom and Bear is my stepbrother. Yet it's sort of nice to not have to put step in front of everyone's name here. When you don't have to step up to a stepmom and step down to a stepbrother, you can just be on the same level as everyone, a family. With all this floating around in my mind, it's a miracle I fell asleep. Yes, I may have even drooled on the pillow a bit. But I had a crazy day. I mean, really. Think about it. My very white family met some Indians for the first time, sort of like Columbus's first encounter with the natives. Only this time it was an uptight white family with meeting a mountain-sized native with an awesome Aussie accent. And this time we can't say that the whites discovered anything since the Aussies were here first. Wait, that's not right either. And this time the whites actually left the natives where they were. That night, there's no problem falling asleep, and I dream in my dream that I'm walking alone in the woods, calmness contained in a lush landscape, but the tranquility is broken as I turn to follow sounds. I spot a miniature nest caught between a tangle of trailing branches. I can see a tiny baby robin with its indigo blue egg cracked and set aside. This little thing is making all the ruckus, but then I look closer at the nest. Intermixed with the twigs and grasses are black threads woven throughout. I reach slowly, tentatively, and deliberately to touch the nest, especially the black string. My fingers are within inches of it, and as my eyes draw nearer, I get a closer look and notice that those aren't pieces of black thread, they're strands of raven black hair. Could it be from? As soon as I almost touch the hair out of the corner of my eye, I see someone waving at me. Three young people are swimming in a shallow pond to my left. They're spraying and teasing one another. One of them is beckoning me with a head tilt and a subtle hand motion. But as soon as I get closer for a peek at their face, whoever it turns out to be turns back to the group of friends. They look so right here in my dream, carefree, happy, and something else. They look like they belong. The setting is so serene, as if they have no cares in the world but to wipe away the day's heat in solitude. Come on, even in my dreams I'm an outsider. How unfair is that? Sometimes I think that the only way those who are in the next life have any possibilities to contact us in this life is to do it when we're unconscious or sleeping. We all have our iPods in our ears, the radio on constant scan mode, searching for the next song, our text messages flowing heavier than the Nile in a rainy season. Not to mention constantly checking our email or seeing if anyone on Facebook has friended us lately. No wonder God made our bodies need sleep. After spending 16 hours with our frenetic life, he just needs to knock us out to get a word in edgewise. After spending 16 hours with our frantic life, he just needs to knock us out to get a word in edgewise. How do I find out if this means something? Does this dream mean anything? Do dreams ever mean something? Who was beckoning me in my dream? Because I'm not much of a swimmer. It takes forever to do my hair, and when it gets wet, it looks like a Brillo pad on caffeine. Really, with all of my issues in life, you'd think the goddess of hair would have been generous. After all, isn't a woman's crowning glory her hair? I awaken at the next dawn in a puddle of drool the size of Lake Superior. For a second, I can't for the life of me figure out where I am. But then I see Leif Garrett, and Duran Duran. Remember them? You don't? The poster on the wall next to my bed holds the classic pop icons, feathered hair and all. Coaxing my eyes open, the rest of the way proves to be a labor intensive. Yet, as soon as I realize I'm in the shrine to all things retro, my eyes and body jolt awake. Mom's room. Oh, Leif. If only you were born in the same decade, it could have been beautiful. Although, if you ask me, he's a bit too skinny for my taste. Speaking of taste, what is that smell? My stomach insists that I go explore the aroma. I throw on some sweatpants and a shirt. It's pretty early, only 5:30 a.m., but I can hear someone banging around in the kitchen. You might think it's odd for a teenager to be up at dawn, but I've always been that way. If there's a silver if there's a sliver of morning light that steals into my bedroom and hits my eyelids, forget about it. I'm up and I stay up. Now, don't go thinking I like getting up this early. Contrary to popular belief, I don't think it's the best time of day. Nobody in my family is even remotely conscious at this time, so it's a lonely time of day because, once again, my companions are me, myself, and I. Even my body can't be a normal teenager.